Okay, welcome. I will now open this regular board meeting of the Netarts-Oceanside Sanitary District. I'm Jerry Keene, Treasurer. President John Prater is away this evening. Family emergency took him away, so I will be attempting to run the show. You guys can alert me if I make a mistake or skip something, please. First order of business is to call the meeting to order, which I've just done, and the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd so move. I'll second.
Okay, it's moved in second. Any discussion? I will note that we will probably move Ms. Lindquist up to the beginning of the meeting so that she can make her presentation and not have to wait for the rest of the board business, although she is certainly welcome to attend the whole meeting. The other clarification is that there are some important developments that will be included under district report that might not have been intended when they wrote the report, but the category is broad enough to gather in all of the new information we're going to receive. With that, the only guests I believe are online, and I believe that is Sherry Lindquist. Out of courtesy to you, we'll go ahead and have you unmute and introduce yourself. And I understand you wanted to make a presentation to the board, and this would be a good time for you to do that.
Yes, I appreciate you letting me go first. I don't have a good enough connection for video currently right now because I am at our house. So let me know if you cannot hear me. I sent a letter in and I apologize for the delay in that, but we are currently about done with our new home on 435 Fall Creek Drive. And we became aware a few weeks ago that we missed a very critical step in the process of hooking up to the sewer. My letter detailed what we became aware of. We used the wrong pipe. We used ABS to replace some broken pipe, and then we did not call the sewer district for an inspection. We only called the county. And we did have to go through a couple of inspections with the county. We kept failing the pressure seal until we replaced the pipe, and we thought we were good to go. We used a very long-term plumber in the area. I'm sure you guys know Christensen Plumbing. We're new to the area. My husband's done construction for a very long time. We truly thought we had done everything we were supposed to. I did go back after talking with Dan, Dan from the Oceanside sewer, not my Dan. I went back and looked at, I have to clarify that sometimes, went back and looked at our paperwork, which we had filled out over 2 years ago, and it was clear that we did miss that critical step. So we understand we need to rectify that. My husband Dan is actually currently in Antarctica working. He travels all over the world. This will be a repair that he and Christensen do together. We will have to dig up that brand new driveway. It will require some shoring. We anticipate the replacement of the ABS with the green that the sewer district requires could take 3 to 6 weeks for safety. We have to make sure that that sand does not cave in on anyone. And so we are asking for not a deviation, but just a, we understand if anything happens to that line until we meet the requirements that the sewer district requires, that we are responsible for any repairs. We are about a week away from our final inspection and moving in, and Dan is not on the continent. And so obviously that's a critical piece. And he will need to consult some other people to ensure that no one is injured in that repair.
Okay, and just to clarify, what is it exactly you're asking of us? Just forbearance during the delay? Okay, are there any other questions from the board members? Well, we appreciate it. Just so you know, the board was provided with your letter. Everybody has it. We read it in detail, but it was just basically delivered today. So we're going to have to meet and talk about it, and we won't be doing that this evening, but we will be doing it without delay and getting back to you. At this point, it doesn't sound like you're asking for anything specific that requires us to act quickly. So we'll go ahead and look at it and see if there are some other things we want to relay to you in response, and also, obviously consult with our staff about that. Dan, do you have any other questions?
No, I think that, the Lindquist are fine to use the sewer.
Okay,
They're fine. There's no leaks. There's no problems there. As she just acknowledged, they're gonna have to go back and reinstall the districts, clean out the way it was, but the sewer is usable.
okay.
So,
Well, then we will, we're not, right now, we're not sure what the action item is, but we'll figure it out and get back to you. But in the meantime, it sounds like you're fine using the sewer. And personally, I appreciate your coming to the meeting and personally letting us know this as well as the detailed letters. So thank you.
Right. Thank you very much.
Okay, and you are welcome to stay to the rest of the meeting, but you are also understandably welcome to leave. So,
All right. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Okay, no other guests or public comments. So we will proceed with board questions or comments. Sure, we're going to have a chance for some here later on some of the items, but anything that's just bubbling up out of you need to get out. All right, and we'll proceed to review the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 16th, 2025 meeting.
I so move.
And the second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Take a moment to look them over.
I did not have any questions when I read them over previously.
Nor did I. Okay, so in no request for more time, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor of approving the readings of the January 16th meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. They are approved. Next item on the agenda is to review the financial statements of January 31st, 2025. I'll go ahead and just get the motion second out of the way and people can kind of look at it. So I entertain a motion to approve the financial statement of January 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Comments? And I'll allow a little time if people want to peruse the numbers a little bit. Dan, is there anything you want to call to our attention about the financial statement? Okay. Okay, with Dan not having any special issues, I'm not hearing the board coming up with anything I have questions about, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor of approving the financial statements of January 31st, 2025, say aye.
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 All opposed? So approved.
And I did have
Go
one
ahead.
question, which was, are we behind typical level of connections for the 24-25? We're at 8 right now.
there's never a typical, I think you could go back and look at averages.
Yeah.
I think we're probably maybe a little ahead for last year.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have total numbers here, so it seemed low, but it could be that it picks up in the spring.
Yeah, we get a better handle on it. We used to be able to kind of predict it by sewer bill building letters, but some people have those for 2 years. And so we make issue a lot more than you see them actually.
Okay.
Complete.
All right.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the board audit, of accounts payable review. Don't need any board action, but folks want to take a moment to look over the numbers and see if they have any questions. Dan or the staff?
Yes, we did.
I'm just moving too quickly for you. Again, Dan, there's nothing you want to call our attention to.
Just trying to see if there are any questions for the board on that.
What's that minus sign on the kidney holes?
Which one are you on?
He's about 2/3 of the way down the first page.
1/6,
Oh,
is that right? No,
It's January 6th. Yeah. 159 below that 12. Oh, that's not hard. No, the Pippin Bose is $159. If you're just looking at it.
And looking at the other one,
Yeah.
yeah, below it,
Okay.
but never mind.
No problem.
The 159 is the lease, is what that is.
Yes, yeah, right.
And that's what we're going to see for $18 and some of that annual tax that they charge.
Okay, board has no other questions about the accounts payable. No, we'll go ahead and move to district report. Dan?
Okay. Just the treatment plant's running well within its permit limits. I did receive a email from John Prather earlier wanting me to stop any work that West Tech might be doing for those hotel projects that affect the Oceanside pump station. That has been stopped a long time ago. They have not provided any of the information needed to move forward with. So until that happens, it's not, we're not doing anything with it.
I have talked personally with Fusion Lodging, and they are, for now, they're not going to be coming back to that project for a while. They're busy with everything. So their application that they had filed before, which was deemed incomplete, they had already let lapse. And they don't even have a timeline now for coming back to us. And,
Which I read your article.
Oh, you read how
That's where I get my information.
I already reported about the fact that there's been nothing new coming out of I think basically the seller is done with dealing with the purchaser that had been connected to the house on the hill site, and they are now exploring options. And we understandably cagey about what those options are or not, but to be determined, and there's certainly no basis for us to expend any more money on it, in terms of getting ready for our applications.
So my question for this item then, can I remove it from the district report?
I think you can for now.
The sense of the board is that you can.
Yeah.
Okay. I did receive on the Netarts Water District on the water usage that they charge us for all the maintaining, cleaning the sewer line. They're kind of dancing around or not really answering the IGA question, and to me, it's pretty darn simple. They want to do a review of our account to see what they charge us for all of our accounts with them, which I don't understand what the need for the audit of those are. All those rates were set by the Netarts Water District. But no matter what they do, if they're going to charge us in the future for cleaning the sewer lines as part of our maintenance cost, we need an intergovernmental agreement to have an approved and agreeable fee cost to this. It can't be how do I put it? They can't keep going to different policies and say, this is what we're charging you on. In the IGA, we shouldn't have to pay $50 every time they go out and they turn the hydrant on and shut it off. They could do that 10 times in a day. They're applying a connection service, which in my understanding doesn't really apply. We're not connecting to a service. So anyway, I'm going to leave this on there for at least another month, give them at their next board meeting a chance to address the IGA question. But I think that eventually we're going to have to, myself and some board members, or have to go sit down with their board members and find out what they actually want in the future. Because right now they're just not responding to the question at hand.
I'm not interested in what other district resolution measures are available. If they don't want to engage, I go to special districts.
I don't know
for
what the
advice, how do these situations get resolved? Do we have to get a vendor, or is there some arbitration somewhere? Or
my understanding, I want to be careful about using the word legal. I mean, my understanding is if they're going to charge you for their product, there has to be an agreement. Like there's a policy for rates, there's a policy for connection fees. They can't just not have a rate with us when we use water from our hydrants.
Right, but if there's no agreement, the consequence of no agreement is no use, and that falls on us more than them. So we're gonna have to, find out how we force the issue if they won't be with us. But yeah, I agree. We need to, we've been dancing around this long enough. We need to formally ask for a meeting of the boards with the directors. So.
And for budgetary purposes, we need some predictability.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
In theory, so do they. Okay.
So pump stations, our replacement Cummins generator, it arrived on January 24th. It is sitting out in the shop. It is the newer model. I mean, it's 20 plus years newer, or 20 years newer. It's going to require some reconfiguration to get it in there. It's not going to be a direct pull out and bolt in. The one we're taking out is obsolete, so there's no dimensions that are the same. The automation group installs generators. They also sell generators, but they install them. So I'm getting a cost from them to come install the generator and run the electrical conduits. We're lucky that all the electrical conduits are overhead, not in the concrete floor. So they are adjustable that way. The tank is several feet longer than the old one for the same amount of fuel, but it sits lower and the tank is much longer. So
Will it fit in the building?
it'll fit in the building. It'll be up pretty close. It'll be up almost against the wall on the exhaust louver for the radiator fan. So, but that's fine. If we go over that, we have to do some reconfiguring. And I need the automation group here to, and I sent them, I got the submittal. I sent it to the automation group so they can see what kind of electrical it's going to require and what kind of mounting.
So Dan, they have their electricians. We don't have an electrician outside of automation group.
No.
So they do the whole hookup.
Yeah, just like we'll use them for control panels. They design, build, and they also have an electrical installation company. So it's kind of a stop shop for all that stuff. So that is here.
You're up to the hillside.
Okay, so I asked the automation group if they can install the new control panel and the generator at the same time, trying to save us a mode trip and stuff. But those are two completely different type of projects.
And
It requires it requires two separate teams of his to do that. So we most likely we'll install the new control panel first, and then we'll have to come back and reinstall the generator later.
I'm assuming Burden's crane service, or who do you use to? Does automation group provide the crane, or?
No, I'm sure that we'll have to get the crane. We'll have to transport it down there. Like I said, I need to get the estimate from them and what's in the estimate, because there'll be another contractor, which will be a mechanical that'll build the metal shroud around, connects the radiator to the outside louver. Still putting that one together. They just delivered our control panel Wednesday. The next one, been on here for a while, the brush clearing.
I've not received anything back from Kevin Hill. He was deployed to California. And I haven't heard back from Shannon, but I know Kevin just got back. So I'll reach out to them again to follow up.
Which is PUD.
No, he's with the Department of Forestry.
Oh,
And Shannon Miller is the state fire marshal.
Okay.
So the California thing really threw everybody for a loop, because the Oregon State Fire Marshal was in charge of all the task forces that went down, and Kevin was in charge of a pretty big group from Oregon as far as Department of Forestry. So I'll follow up with them again.
It would be really good if we could get this resolved before the dry season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will hash that out pretty well before.
Okay, Cape One pump station, at no charge. Xylem did replace the power cable to the Capes One pump. So it has been repaired and it is back at the pump station, ready for installation. The main pump station generator received the load bank and servicing, load bank testing and servicing. We had them look at the radiator. They recommend to change the radiator because they can't guarantee if it'll last a day or last 5 days. Well, that's with any radiator. I'm not really sure they really gave it that much of an inspection, to be honest with you. There is rust and corrosion on the metal parts, the aluminum parts, which is your radiator cores. They don't look that bad. So at this time, I'm not really, I'm $38,000. I really don't think that radiator is at fail safe. And what we've got inside, Lincoln actually got pictures of the inside of which I don't think Cummins actually looked at. And it looks in a lot better shape than that lower part of what they looked at. So I don't think it's anything critical right at this moment. The Netarts pump station door replacements, I think you guys remember, did that, a few months ago. There was an issue with one of the doors. One of the new doors is on, one of the old ones was reinstalled. I guess when they went to put one of the new ones in, it was warped a little bit. So they couldn't get it to seal. So they put one of the old ones back on and they sent the other one back to the factory for replacement. When they get it, they'll come out and install it. So you'll see two different color doors down there. That's the reason you'll see that. But
Okay.
They didn't give us a time frame until they get a hold of the factory for warranty.
And the defect was the warpage you're talking about.
From the new one, yes. The plant pump station Promac flow meter is installed. They will have their tech out here on Monday to finish the connections and commission it. The main pump station needs a new roll-up door. It is pretty degraded from salt air. Just so you can see, this is one of the roll-up doors guide plates. You can see that. So they were falling off as we were rolling it up to work on this pump problem. This door, we just don't want it to fall, to come and collapse on.
How many years of exposure is that?
10,
13
13.
13 years. The new replacement door, and I know it's expensive, but the new one is with made out of resins and plastic hard. So we're not going to have the rust issues that we have on this one. This one could be repaired, but they think the cost would be more to have to go try to drill all these out and replace them all.
Did you need a motion for this?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, board action.
Do we need a other bid besides this bid?
This is just a replacement.
Yeah, but it's not in a financial range where we need.
No, it's not. No, it has to be, I think, over $25,000.
Okay, so you're basically asking for approval to go ahead with the replacement.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to allow for replacing the roll-up door at the main power station.
So move.
I'll second that.
So moved in second. Any more discussion?
I will just observe that metal things around here have a short lifespan. I replaced a metal front door in my house last year and did put in a fiber door that is going to last.
Yes.
So they told me.
And I'll observe that this has hardly been news to anybody for at least 50 years. So
Yeah.
what the heck was metal used in the first place? But maybe it wasn't, plastic wasn't available.
So
Without any other discussion, I'll go ahead with a vote. All in favor of going ahead with the replacement, say aye.
I
Right.
Opposed? Passes.
Okay, and it's an FYI, you'll see there were two attachments. The other attachment was for $1,383 from overhead door. And what that'll do is they'll come up and inspect all of our roll-up doors in all of our shops. anywhere we have them, lube them, grease them, and give us a report on their condition.
And Dan, that's under your standard maintenance budget, so we don't need a motion.
You don't need a motion on this. I just wanted to, I didn't want you confused why there was two.
Yeah.
This other one is separate. This is coming to inspect the condition of the rest of them.
Okay.
Okay, we're still on the report.
All of the pump stations are running without issues. And I'll give you the main pump station, the news from this week. We had a catastrophic failure of one of the dry pit pumps. It literally blew off the top of the volute piping, and it landed on the floor. That pump weighs over 2,000 pounds, somewhere about 2,800, I think. It damaged the pump severely. It looks like now we have follow-up problems. They thought it just, because it smashed, it pinched one of the cables on a concrete pad for the generator and cut that. It's direct three-phase, 460 volt. That was a dead short. Plus, it was probably submerged in sewer water. There's sewer water about 2 inches deep in there. And it tripped a breaker, blew 2 of the 3 line fuses. And now it also looks like it damaged what's called our soft start. And that's what starts the motor up. Right now, it is stuck where power is running through it all the time, and it's not going through the control panel. So as soon as you turn the main breaker back on, it starts sounding like, like I said, gravel in the dryer, clothes dryer, and it will burn the pump. So it's locked back out, even though it's back together, we still can't use it until we get the soft start changed. And
Can you repeat that last little bit?
we cannot use that pump set until we get the soft start repaired in the power panel. Okay.
What does that entail?
Electrician will plug it in and shut the 3-phase off on voltage. It's all high voltage. He'll pull the unit out, rewire in a new one. There might be some programming in there. I'm not sure if they can just pull the programming out and put into the new one. I think they can. They used to, but I don't know if we can get an exact replacement. So.
And that's the automation group that does that?
Xylem or the automation group, but Xylem are not electricians. They're not certified electricians, so that's why we use the automation group. They are certified electricians, or we have to call our electrician to do it.
Okay.
So either one of those two.
The cable that was damaged has been replaced.
No, it's still on the pump laying on the floor with the pump. The broken pump and the volute, all the damaged stuff is still laying at the pump station. We keep that until we figure out what caused this.
Yeah.
Wait, whose insurance company is going to pay?
Well, yeah, just so you know, nobody's gonna jump up to the plate because this is $100,000 pump.
Yeah.
Okay. Xylem led me to believe that they're going to repair the pump. He thinks initially that it's repairable by putting a new cooling jacket on it, which is basically your entire pump housing, and then reuse the insides and replace the damaged cable. But they want us to pay for the rebuild kit to put it back together because we did get 4 or 5 years of use out of it. So they're kind of treating it like when you blow out a tire early, they'll replace the tire, but you're going to pay for the 30% of tire tread you used. Is about the only.
So how much is the kit?
The kits are about, for that pump, are probably going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000, which is typically what we pay for a rebuild on any of the pumps.
I'm just wondering what our deductible or whatever would be with SDIS and find out what.
SDIS does not cover, we have to see if they'll cover that part. I know there's a lot of collection system stuff that they do not cover. So I'll have to ask them, but I'm waiting to hear back from Xylem, if they're gonna take care of it, I will notify them to let them know that
The insurance company.
the insurance company, SDIS, but I'm not sure we actually have coverage for it, but if we wind up having to take legal action or something.
Yeah, I mean, if the fault is the installation in the first place, it doesn't seem like we should pay.
Well, yes, I don't know if they can make it stick about us paying for the rebuild kit. Well, if we took it in and had it serviced. We did get,
We're gonna figure out who's got leverage once they investigate, discover
Yeah.
anything more, what can be discovered.
they wanted all the broken studs today and I refused to give them to them. I've got them in a bag, tagged and bagged and dated. A picture of them down there with the pump and then a picture of it in our safe. I'm not letting them go because we may need those. They appear to me to be torsional brakes. That means whoever installed the studs over torqued them. We did have a problem a few years ago with the tech that put all these new volutes and colors on those pumps. So I've made that aware. They're not denying it and they're not accepting it yet. They want to look at this.
Is the prior problem documented?
Oh yeah.
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 Problem with that check.
And this was the same tech at the same pump station that turned the pumps on with the inspection port off, and Sean and Tyler were both hit with full force sewer right out of the side of it. Yeah, well, he ducked behind Tyler, so, but
I'm gonna sidetrack further discussion of our speculation about
Yeah.
what caused it, because maybe that's the kind of discussion we're gonna have to have in executive session at some point. Legal action, so return to just. what
Okay,
happens
so
now,
where we're
what
at-
happens next.
so where we're at now, we have to repair the soft start in the electrical panel, not the control panel, but the electrical panel, and we should be able to use that pump train.
So you said there was damage to the concrete. Is that significant? Is that something we need?
It's not, it doesn't appear, there's a gouge size 6 or 9 inch dinner plate or something like that.
Mhm.
And then a corner of the mounting pad, concrete pad for the generator was broke off. There's no exposed rebar, so it wasn't deep. And I don't think it cracked the floor at all. I don't think it created any type of damage like
Okay.
that.
So it's not something that we need to repair.
I don't think so.
Yeah, on behalf of the board, thank the staff for dealing with
Yeah,
an unpleasant situation. And also one that caused you to be up all hours, some of you at least. So thank you for being so dedicated and on it. We appreciate it. Not all, I don't think all sewer districts have the kind of staff that we have here that are dedicated and capable. So we don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
That's why you got the cookies.
And
Rob made your cookies.
so this is to be continued, especially with regards to the kind of costs that you incur just to get things back in place and keeping track of those costs in case we
They're
will.
all filed with this one incident. And it'll be filed in the pump station file. This one.
Okay,
So what? We have another pump that's operating 24/7.
Yeah, the other, they're called pump trains. There's 2 pumps in tandem.
Okay,
So the other set, your backup set is running.
and that electrical cable scenario, that gonna affect,
So the electrical cable, the damage to that is isolated to the pump that we removed.
okay, so,
Each pump has its own set of cables,
all
power
right,
cables.
so as far as the liability of something going to the point where we can't use the pump, is that
managed.
in there?
Well,
somewhere?
it's managed, yes. That's why the design of these pump stations have redundancy.
Yeah.
They always, are designed to run on one of the pump sets or one pump. And you always have a second, they alternate back and forth. So it can operate on the one single set.
But we don't have a backup now.
We currently know the only backup that we would have is if something was damaged, what we could do is move the cables over to another controller, over to the other controller. We have enough cable length, we can swap them out. So turn pump set one, basically into pump set two, and not have to physically move the pumps inside.
Okay.
So the control panel doesn't know which ones we have to look to.
Has the floor been disinfected?
No, we're still, I mean, it took out 3 of our overhead lights, three of those. It has to be pressure washed and cleaned completely. It's soaked the workbench, the O&M manuals, anything that was in there got soaked and everything. So we haven't cleaned up enough to work on it, but we have to go and clean around the air compressor, all of the floor, the walls,
Probably the ceiling.
the ceiling. Yeah, we have to clean it so we can get the electrician up there. And he's probably gonna have to replace those light fixtures because they got sewer water in them, it's not coming back on. So it tripped out almost all the GFCI breakers in the panel, which are your plugins. So it was a substantial amount of water. And you have to remember, it's coming through there at over 200 PSI
Yeah.
when it's pumping at, full.
And is there any spillage beyond the facility in any way?
No, it stayed inside the building.
So there's no special reporting you need to do now.
No, it did, none of it escaped. I sat in there with a squeegee and kept.
Thank you again.
Thank you, yes.
Jerry, what I'm hearing is we may need more of Rob's cookies for the cleanup. Another
I
plate.
mean, is that a
Anybody's
scenario
got
where
an
you need to
appetite.
wear a respirator when you're inside there?
No. And we've done, sometimes when you change pumps, you spill some of the sewer water out.
Okay.
You squeegee it down, you hose it down, you wash it, you pressure wash it and stuff like that. We've never had one that's painted 2/3 of the building before.
Right.
So it will be some cleanup work, but before we start going in there disinfecting and spraying, I need the electrical stuff fixed first. So we can seal that back up and then they're free to start using the pressure wash. It's clean enough to go in and work on. We wear our boots and stuff in there. We don't wear our shoes back in the office after we walk through that floor.
Right.
So, and that type of stuff.
Okay.
Just don't pick your nose, guys.
Well, they wear, they wear their latex gloves and
That's
all
good.
that type of stuff. So on the capital treatment plant's running well within its permit limits. Our new permit starts effective March 1st. So in a little over a week and a half. And that will decrease our labs from 4 a month to 1. So they've made a lot of changes as far as taking that off of us, but they've added other testing and other requirements that they want us to do. Just so you know, it's leaning heavily towards I&I reduction. And so they're leaning real heavy on maintenance and repair is where the permit is going, which I don't know how that has to do with effluent quality yet, but it is requirements in the permit that they've added in. We are currently working on capital improvements number 4. We're currently working on getting permission to enter the lots down at Lower Avalon for that pump station project. And Aaron's made pretty good headway, got all the, pretty close to half the property owners. We do have enough for the wetland study for the lower part where the geotech is more worried about. We haven't got a hold of that because it's bare land, so we don't have files on them or contact information, only addresses we get to the tax office and stuff like that. But we have made enough, and the ones I've talked to, I have told them that we will need an easement in the future if you want sewer down there. And so far, they seem to be really receptive
Didn't we negotiate that in the real estate?
for 4 lots.
Oh,
All 4. We're gonna need it for almost 10,
okay.
because it's all gonna sort of be on one side. But they all seem to want to hook to it. They all, are really supporting it. So far.
And you and Brian went to look at something you talked about in the last
We
meeting?
went and met with West Tech on designs, equipment that we needed, placements, and what they needed from the district to help with their design process, which is for this wetland study. Contact the property owner.
And there weren't any surprises in that meeting?
So number 5, the HVAC system. Finally received a second correspondence from Ocean Air, who's been doing our maintenance for HVAC for a couple of years now. And this is beyond them, especially due to the controllers. They could change outside units, things like that, but they are not control specialists. So, and there's been no other contacts back. I've sent emails out to 2 others, but they don't seem interested. It's probably not, I don't think it's really their territory that they work outside of. I think this would meet the auditor's request.
Seems like a good faith effort.
I agree.
I did contact back to NCC Controls to verify yesterday that their estimate is still valid, and it is.
Do you need any action on that tonight?
Oh, yeah, that's $120,000, I think it was.
I move that we move forward with the project and approve the NCI, did you say?
NCSS control.
NCSS controls.
Okay, I have a motion to approve going ahead with NCSS based on their estimate, which is in the area of $120,000. Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Jim?
And what part of the budget is this get paid out of?
We'll probably take this out of capital resource since it's not it's not like a really annual maintenance type of deal. It's something that you look at like about 20 years, but we've gotten 13 out of it, so. The real problem we're facing with a lot of this stuff is that the obsolete for controllers and electronics, and then the other part is this type of corrosion that you get. This was on a receptacle off in the plant out there. So it's just, as you mentioned, your metal door, all those components are just, starting to show, but they've been open to the ocean air now for over 11 years.
And this is a discussion item on our workshop, right?
Yeah.
Future budgeting for this.
Are we there?
Oh, I'm sorry. We got all, did I see all that for a vote?
No, not
Oh,
yet. I
thank you
first
for
and
reminding
second.
me. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
So lastly, what I have is personnel. It's just my update. We have 2 operator training positions, or we have 2 applicants out of 4 that, well, it's supposed to be 5, but out of 4 that we interviewed that are contenders. But John is on the executive session.
Right, we'll discuss that further in this executive session today.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for your district report. Moving on to old business. I think you covered Avalon Pump Station project.
Yeah.
Covered, have you covered,
Yeah.
Oceanside, we covered by
Yeah.
taking that off the table. Workshop planning, as you all know, we were forced to cancel today's workshop based on collision of events beyond our control. And we will need to reschedule it. I haven't talked with John about available dates. There was some discussion today about possibly going ahead and doing before our next board meeting, what we're going to do with this board meeting, which is March 20th, I believe. Discussion of that or suggestions of alternatives. Again, John, I do know if John had any part of talking about moving us the workshop to the next available date.
I have not had a talk about that.
I'm gonna assume with about 85 or 90% confidence that John always clears his day before board meeting. He spends it up here haranguing the staff. So, everybody else's availability for that or thoughts?
I
don't-
could do the 20th of March from 1 till 5, like we had scheduled for today.
Others?
Yeah, I'm good to
I'm
go.
clear.
Okay, I'm clear also. So why don't we go ahead, subject to strong objections or surprise conflicts from John, we'll go ahead and schedule it for that. Hope this time we get it done. There were elements of what we were going to discuss in the workshop that relate to the budget process that we'll be starting soon.
So
But
it's
not,
it's the first budget meeting in March. It's in April. So it
it's
does,
still time.
it's not, doesn't start at 5 PM on the 20th of March. Okay.
Okay, well then, we're all agreed on that. We'll just call that the plan.
Okay.
And then May 20th, 2025 election, I know I'm up. Who else?
I'm up.
And
Joe, okay.
So I think,
I have submitted my paperwork.
okay.
I have not, I didn't know, sorry.
you weren't here last one.
I'll get with you, so.
So are you just gonna get your form online and do it, or?
Okay.
Do you need help to get the form? The elections
Probably.
If we go on, it's Oregon Secretary of State Special Districts.
Okay.
Candidates form,
Or you can get a form from the clerk's office.
or you go to the clerk's office.
Okay.
I'm gonna get mine online. Just print
And
it.
you gotta get $10, Andy.
You do
Yeah,
have,
$10 or signatures.
and they need a wet signature.
In person.
Yes.
Okay, so any other information you want to add or put out on that? Okay, so that's it. Jeff and I are publicly flogged on record.
Excellent.
Next item, new business, janitorial agreement. Dan, you want to talk about that? Just approving a renewal.
It's pretty standard. It is year after year. I'm having some issues with them, but I think they changed on-site supervisor, so she's not disarming the security system correctly, letting the people in first, sets off all the alarms. My phone blows up and then I've got to cancel so police don't come out. But I will make a call to them. I put notes on the board, but they're not responding to those, so.
And
Other than that's my
We're paying them enough, they should pay attention to it.
is the cost similar to last year's cost?
About
I don't know, 500 a month. Okay. It's a pretty low percentage increase.
We ready?
I should check our numbers.
page 542.77 currently.
And now they want 558.
Nickel and dime.
Yeah.
Okay, so, was that board action or just letting us know?
Yeah, no, it's a board action. It's a contract.
Okay, all in favor of. renewing our
I move
contract?
that we approve.
Oh, sorry.
I'll second
Let's have
that.
a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right.
All opposed? Okay, passes. Thanks for catching me. All right, what time you got?
I have 6:19.
Okay, now 6:19, we're going to temporarily unconvene the meeting, executive session. So I'll ask folks to leave the room for executive discussion. We turned that thing off, right?